Oh my goodness. How long have we been waiting to see this story? How many artists, writers, and animators in our community have come up with possible explanations for the Apple parents? How many times has the MLP staff dropped subtle hints and teasers about this eventual episode they've been hoping to tell? Needless to say, perhaps more than any other story in the entirety of MLP, this was the moment when meeting our expectations could make or break an episode. Let's be honest here, if any element here failed to meet the hype, there'd be instant drama and outrage amongst the community. The likes we haven't seen since perhaps Alicorn Twilight Sparkle made her debut. All in all, there must have been a lot of pressure on the MLP staff to get this just right, as they really wouldn't get another chance. So, with all of this in mind, I went into the perfect pair with an even mix of excitement and hesitation. And it's beautiful. It's genuinely heartwarming, overwhelmingly adorable, and will certainly leave a lasting impact on the audience. I don't even know where to begin. Well, getting inspiration from the Romeo and Juliet story was a nice touch. Giving the apples and the pears a long-standing rivalry, and having Pear Butter and Bright Mac keeping their relationship a secret for so long, it actually makes a bit more sense that none of the Apple siblings would have talked about their parents before now. In particular, I would have at least expected Granny Smith to have told the story to Little Apple Bloom. But if she's the one holding on to old grudges, then it helps explain why we've had to wait so long in the series to see this. I had heard a while back that William Shatner would be lending his voice to MLP Season 7, but putting him in the role of Apple Bloom's grandparent? That genuinely surprised me. And what's more, his voice is actually a little difficult to recognize at first, as it's so different from anything he's done before. Kudos to the MLP staff for not only bringing Mr. Shatner into the show, but also giving him such an important role in the story we've waited so long to hear. And who knows, now that Grandpear is living in Ponyville, I imagine there's a good chance he'll be coming back in future seasons. Might even provide a good lesson about lifelong grudges in a future episode. I suppose I'm also glad to see a bit more of the Apple parents' history when they provide a little insight on Applejack's honesty, or Apple Bloom's desire to help others find their purpose, along with who the Apple family gets their wonderful singing talents from. And wow, just wow. The You're in My Head Like a Catchy Song is beautifully performed and it just melts your heart. I cannot wait to see how many fans will be singing this same piece in future conventions. For me, it really brings back such wonderful memories of all those little moments of falling in love, and I hope it inspires more than a few fans to take similar steps in their futures. I guess the only nitpick that comes to my mind, and this really is a nitpick, is I wish there could have been more. Part of me was hoping the writers could spend 2 or even 3 episodes slowly developing this story, as they really couldn't go back and try again later. It was certainly fun to have all these different characters telling the story, even a cameo from Goldie Delicious, whom I never thought we'd see again. But each segment was going through so much story, I couldn't help but wish they'd slow things down a bit and give us a broader picture of the Apple family's past. Though, another part of me really appreciates that this is such a simple story rather than some grand epic. Maybe making the story longer and more detailed would have lessened the overall impact. When I look back on everything this episode accomplished in such a limited time, I have to applaud the MLP staff for all the work they've put in here. In the end, if the only issue I have with this episode is wishing there could have been more, I'd say that's probably more of a compliment than a nitpick. Looking at everything that's been released for Season 7 thus far, I wonder if any episode before or after The Perfect Pair will even come close to being so memorable. I know I've spent a lot of this review praising just about everything, but I just can't bring myself to do anything else. And I honestly hope a lot of fans out there feel just the same way. What say you? I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.